When you don't feel received, no matter how much you give and give, that can cause a lot of pain. So rather than try harder and harder, let's have a conversation about what to do instead.
Welcome to the I'm Perfectly Divine podcast, a place for the strong, sensitive, spiritual seeker to recognize the perfection of your human journey as a pathway to remembering yours. My work is to bridge both the emotional and spiritual worlds through proven and grounded frameworks that support you to live in the wholeness you already are. For over the past 2 decades, I have supported people from all around the world, as well as Fortune 500 companies, to dissolve the divisions within them and live with greater empowerment and love. This podcast is an exploration of the paradoxes that befuddle us as we live our lives being both human and divine. Together, you and I, along with other experts, will navigate integrating psychology and spirituality, the divine feminine and the divine masculine, the darkness and the light, to create greater sacred union from within. I believe through your remembering that you are innately divine, that you will allow yourself to more openly shine. So let's get to it, because your unique light is needed more than ever.
Hello, beautiful soul. Welcome to I'm Perfectly Divine podcast. I'm so glad you're here. We're going to get into it. We're going to get into the thick of it, of what it's like when you feel that you are giving and doing, and yet you still don't feel received, and what to do besides trying harder and harder and harder to make it work and to feel that you're getting back from life what you've put into it. I know this feeling very well. I know what it's like to want to give from your heart. And I know you are a person that has such a big heart that you naturally want to give and share. And yet it can feel hurtful to share so much and feel like you're hitting a wall. Again, feeling like you're not being received. And I know you're not doing what you're doing just to be received, but it's our part of our human experience to want to have that mirrored back to us, have love mirrored back to us. And so let's talk about what happens internally for us and what can be blocking us from really feeling received in who we are. So I wanted to start with this notion of just try harder and harder and harder. I think it's a quote. I looked it up. It was by William Edward Hickson. He's the one who said, if at first you don't succeed, try again. And so, of course, this guidance is powerful. It's important. It's saying, don't give up on yourself, persevere, be resilient. And it's important that we don't give up on ourselves and what is true to you. And so, again, you being a caring person, you're giving from your heart and you don't want to give up on that. But today, I want to share how I've gotten this wrong and how it's led to pain and what I've learned from that pain. So hopefully you can do it different than what I've done. I also want you to keep in mind that there's really no way to get it quote unquote wrong, because any wrong directions ultimately lead us back to an opportunity to learn. So even though we don't like pain, I know it's not like we want to keep choosing pain, but sometimes we keep choosing and hitting those walls just to really get clear to us this is not the way. And there is a different way. And I laugh because my ego can be very it can be the one that perseveres to a point where it's exhausting and I feel like I'm hitting my head against the wall. And that's not the way that we ultimately want to do this. There's an easier way that hopefully you can take away from our time together. And so what I have witnessed in myself is the pain in trying so hard to get it right. And this can be a part of the Achilles heel to those of us who are sensitive, who do have big hearts, because those big hearts want to get it right, to be the love that we know we came here to be and to feel it. And so there's a beauty in that. At the same time, it can cause frustration and hurt. And if we don't catch it, we can find ourselves shutting down. And I don't want your big hearted nature to start to feel that way. Now, this episode, interestingly enough, was sparked by Mother's Day, because I could see and I could sense on posts on social media, moms who obviously are just beautiful, giving mothers, and they work so hard to be, quote unquote, a good mom. And seriously, one of the absolute worst things you could ever do to a mom is to imply in any way that she is doing a bad job. Like, that is just like arrows to the heart multiple times over. It's heartbreaking to a mom because she cares so freaking much for her kids. She wants the best for her kids. And of course, this isn't just moms. None of us want to feel that the way that we love isn't enough. And so, what I realized over Mother's Day is that there were some moms that didn't feel entirely recognized when they, of course, are deserving of being celebrated. And so, if you're a mom who felt like those you love dropped the ball, or if you are someone just not feeling entirely received, no matter how much, how hard you give, I want to talk to you today about the different ways that we love and how this impacts our sense of deservedness. So, as a part of our conversation, I'm going to talk about feminine and masculine and energy. Now, in the universe, and we talk about unity consciousness, we're all one, and this energy is all one. However, because of our humanity, we have a mind that works in dualities. And so for me to describe this, the best way is to describe it in a dualistic nature. Okay. But we all have feminine and masculine energies, regardless of our gender. So we each have both feminine and masculine energy within us. Now, the way that feminine energy loves is different than how masculine energy loves. Feminine energy tends to fortify who we internally are and embed it with the love that we innately are. So this feminine energy is embedding the love that we innately are. And masculine energy tends to take action and wants to provide as an expression of love. And both are beautiful and needed, very much needed. Now, society currently feels more geared, drawn toward, directed toward showing, and I would say even proving love based on actions, trying to, I quote, I got a lot of air quotes. If you're not watching me on YouTube, I've got some air quotes happening. So I'll try to say it verbally, quote unquote, proving our love based on actions. And so I see so many amazing women not recognizing the important love that comes through them and the importance of love that fortifies their children, their families, their partners, their beloveds. Their love wants to give everything from this internal perspective. Moms want to provide their children with everything that makes them happy. Daughters want to be there for their parents in a way that makes them happy. Women partners want to be there for the ones that they love so that their loved one feels cherished. But if the way that they love it and how it fortifies isn't honored or even recognized, women will turn to a more masculine love that does more and more and more. And then they're exhausted. And the very love that they naturally are able to give becomes depleted within themselves. We can't give to another what we don't first give to ourselves. We know this. We've heard the stories about put the oxygen mask on yourself first so that you're able to give love to another or provide for another or take care of another. And so the inner fortification that comes from feminine love gets lost in its actual importance. We are so focused on the demonstration of love, of the providing love. And given the state where people are at emotionally, this inner fortification is more important than ever. It's more needed than ever within individuals. But we're going to keep missing the mark if our expression, if we think the best expression or the most important expression or the only expression is doing as an expression of love, is providing as an expression of love. And we're really going to get into why it's so important for these to be balanced. So it's definitely not taking away from the traditional masculine understanding of love, of taking action, providing, fixing, and showing love in that way. That can feel so soothing and safe and feeling that sense of being cared for. And yet today we want to really acknowledge this inner fortification piece because because it is so natural for the feminine. And again, you have the ability to express this regardless of your gender. It's just that women are going to lean naturally into this expression of love if they allow themselves to honor it. And so we've forgotten the importance of inner fortifying ourselves first. I have forgotten myself many times trying to measure the love I give based on external means of doing as a mom, doing within my relationships, work, school. It seems like there's always more and more that I could do, should do. So I try and I try and I try harder and harder. And I only feel like I've fallen short again. And that creates a lot of pain because you are, or at least I'll speak for myself, I was giving from a place of love. But that love was not coming from a place of knowing my own sense of self-worth. And this is why the inner fortification piece is so important, that we're fortifying our psyche. And our psyche is where we know ourselves. We know the truth of who we are, which is love. And then from that love, we know our worthiness. But if inner fortification gets put to the side, then we're totally losing this strengthening from within that, again, must come from within ourselves first. So what's interesting to me, I'm back to these quotes. Einstein warned us about doing this to ourselves with his quote that insanity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting different results, right? But the limitation in that famous quote is less about doing and more about who you are being as you take action. So in my mind, I was doing different things. I literally was doing different things. I wasn't doing the same thing over and over. I was doing different things. and trying different things. But the person doing them felt flawed, not enough, needing to prove myself because I didn't have that inner fortification. I became the tryhard without knowing it because, of course, no one sets out to be the tryhard, right? We all know how annoying the tryhard is. When we witness them, we get annoyed because we can sense their desperation. And for me, that desperation is off-putting because I don't want to recognize the desperation within myself, the desperation within me that judges how I'm avoiding the parts of me willing to do whatever it takes to try to control myself and my life to become more of what I want it to look like, right? And so, I mean, I don't think I'm alone with this. This is like one of my favorite bands, Imagine Dragons. They're singing whatever it takes, right? Like this is how we're supposed to show up, whatever it takes. And we've got this strength and this resilience and this perseverance. But here's the thing, my brain qualifies whatever it takes as doing more and more and more. When what I've found is that whatever it takes is that whatever it takes to go deep and deeper within to unravel the aspects of myself that feel not good enough, to unravel the part of me and see with compassion the part of me feeling that she's got to prove again. She's got to effort more and more. She's got to push to make things happen. It's the difference between knowing I am love as I am and knowing that within our hearts, and as well as knowing that we are love within our needs, we are love within our vulnerabilities, and we are love within our greatness. So a part of us starts to think that the ego wants us to believe that we are love when we are only in our greatness. And the inner fortified self knows that we are love with all of it. Our greatness, our needs, our vulnerability. That whole wholeness of ourselves is actually what love is. And that was not in my ego's realm of understanding when it came to love. It was all about proving and trying to be enough. And so learning this for myself was so different than my tendencies of trying to prove myself because deep down, I felt I had to compensate for my imperfections ever since I could remember. And so to this day, I am not the best at showing my imperfections. My go-to is to hide them so I can be seen as enough, as a way to earn approval or seek approval. It's still there. It's been a challenging habit to break, which is why I'm Perfectly Divine was born. And it's such a gift to me because it's about sharing this journey of being able to take in the imperfections, what our egos see as imperfections, as the gateway to a love that will blow us away. And so while my ego is so ashamed and wants me to run away from and do more to prove that I am better than my shame, what I've found is that going towards my humanity, receiving my shame, going towards the messiness of all of who I am is the way to receiving and building greater and greater inner fortification that is built from love, that is stabilized from love, so that regardless of what is happening in our world, whether or within our lives, whether we feel received or not, that we are receiving ourselves. And the gift and the magic is that the more we do this for ourselves, the more the universal laws and principles demonstrate to us that it must be reflected back to us. And we get to learn and experience for ourselves that it's not about doing more, that the more we receive ourselves and bring ourselves this inner fortification, the more we are able to bring that type of love to those that we love naturally, and the easier life becomes because we've taught ourselves how to receive all of us and how to receive all of another. And people need that more than ever, that you can see them, that you can receive them in their messiness as well, because it's just part of our human experience, right? So my subconscious can still go back to the programming that wants to hide what my ego deems as flaws to appear so I can receive love, so I can receive approval. But thankfully, and I would say truly miraculously, I've been shown that the opposite is true. Because at every turn where I've been struggling, it's the same story. And within every one of my struggles, what I'm hitting a wall against, what love is trying to make me see is that wall is my sense of not being enough, that I don't think I'm enough. And what finally shifted to allow myself to receive more love from life and from others is being able to first receive myself with that love. We've got to give it to ourselves first. And so I went from trying and trying and trying to no avail, to feeling worse about myself, to picking myself up and being like, all right, we've got to think about this different. We've got to do something different, and still no avail, still failures, still not able to receive, to being in so much pain. I finally surrender out of exhaustion, to being in that state of surrender, but feeling so incredibly lost. And somehow a love guides me through that lostness by allowing me to choose as many times as I want the old patterns until I'm willing to face what I've wanted to deny. And until I'm willing to face what I've wanted to deny from love. So I want to be really clear that this love doesn't do more for me. This love in the darkness, when I'm lost, confused, struggling, doesn't do more for me. In fact, this love refuses to fix this for me, which oftentimes pisses me off. So, but this love is standing by, and it's reminding me in very tiny whispers that I don't know if I can completely hear, but something within me knows that this love is standing by, reminding me of the love I innately am. And from that knowing, I can change my trajectory, because that knowing allows me to choose differently, because I'm choosing from a place of knowing the love that I am versus the choosing from feeling that I'm not enough. And so this love is unique to the feminine. She is there, steady, holding us in the darkness, even though she knows that you are in tremendous pain. She is there to steady us and to help us to remember who we are. This is the unconditional love of the mother. At the same time, she fortifies you with her knowing of the love as you are, as as much as you feel like a mess, lost, whatever it is, she is not there to fix you or do it for you. And this is a love that is beyond powerful to me. And what's interesting is I was thinking about all of this weekend and over Mother's Day, and I watched a movie this weekend called Widow Clico. It's the true story of how the champagne Veuve Clicquot, I think is how you pronounce it. You can correct me. I have no idea. You like my French ass accent with that. Veuve Clicquot, I think is how you pronounce it. So this became popular based on a woman whose husband died, and she took over the vineyard. And it was really about her unwillingness to let go of this dream and the way that he saw how to run it. And then her really infusing her own feminine wisdom and how she went through all these trials and failures as she learned to trust herself to do things her way. And one of the things that really, really stood out to me was when she first took over the vineyard, there were people who, there was like a foreman who actually ran I don't know what you call it, the farm. And she suggested that the vines get replanted because they were in a place where there was water. And the foreman said, no, the vines need water. We want them to have water. And she said something to the effect of, I want to move the vines where they struggle, because it's through the struggle that our best selves are brought forward. Like, imagine that. For me, that is where the feminine love has always met me when I am in the struggle, because it knows that through that, there will be some unstoppable power that is a force that comes from the love that we innately are. That love is there for you when it feels dark, when you don't feel received, when you don't know which way to turn, when you're in the struggle. But she won't do it for us, but she will hold us through it all. And again, if you're like me, choice after choice, where I go back to the old ways, even though I think I'm doing things differently. Let's try this, let's try that. But who I am being is coming from a place of lack, not seeing the innate love within me. So her love, this feminine love, refuses to rescue us exactly because she knows the love and power and truth that we all are. She knows it because she's asking us to remember that that type of love for ourselves is such generous love to be able to give to another. And it's so needed right now. But we have to learn it from within. We can't fake it. We can't provide it to another without having it first within ourselves. So in the darkness of the psyche, in our pain, in our suffering, we are called to reclaim all aspects of ourselves as love. We get to love ourselves as is, perceived flaws, all the mistakes, the being that is the desperate try hard, that cares so much but doesn't see their own worth, that believed that worth came from having it all together rather than the power of love that can hold all of you, all of this with acceptance and worth, with such powerful loving, compassionate acceptance and worth. That love gives to us in our most vulnerable moments and reflects back only more love, truth, and honor, because that is who you are. That's who you are. That's why this feminine love is able to reflect it to you when we learn to receive it, when we remember to receive it. That is the love that is within inside of you, because this feminine love is within inside of all of us. And we are built by having the gift of choice. And you are the only one that can recognize this for yourself and to receive this type of love that receives you. And to recognize this type of love is equally as significant as the love that provides for you. Here's the irony to me, is that the more I allow in the love that doesn't do for me, but receives me, the more I have learned to receive for myself, and the more I am blessed with receiving. And the reason why that's so ironic to me is because it's just the opposite that my ego has told me. Do more and you'll receive more. No, she shows us that to receive more of yourself is the way to receive more. Like attracts like, versus the lack is going to attract more lack, right? So the love teaches doing less to receive more. And tell me what woman doesn't need that right now, right? Because she honors the internal. This love honors the internal and teaches us to do this for ourselves, to love our own internal, all the internal states, and to understand them and see them, acknowledge them, honor them. And through her non-action loving guidance, she continues to teach me how to shift from trying, efforting, proving myself bit by bit by remembering the love I am, you are, that we all innately are. And this love can create dramatic, quick, quantum leap shifts in our lives when we know this within our heart of hearts and really know it. I have lived in ways that has unintentionally created more suffering on my journey by giving up because I felt so unworthy to have my dreams, to feeling the need that I needed to prove myself that I'm worthy of my dreams, from taking failure personally. All of this is in that core of trying to prove worthiness rather than know love and worthiness from within. And the amazing gift of being able to recognize both that the love that receives and that receives you as you are and loves you as you are, as well as the love that provides for you, is that because of these so-called missteps, we open ourselves more deeply to understand, honor, give, and receive this level of love. So it naturally wants us to both give and receive, because when you are so filled, you can't help but want to give, because it's literally overflowing from you. And it really just takes our remembering. And by remembering, I don't mean just the act of like no longer forgetting, but the blessing of feeling unity within all aspects of you as love, rather than believe in the shame of the ego. So if you do not feel fully received, I get it. And this is where the feminine love wants us in on the secret, that there is absolutely nothing we have to do or prove. We are innately deserving of love in each and every way that love can show up in our lives, in each and every expression of its expansiveness. This is why I do this podcast. It's not because I have it all figured out. Trust me. It's because I want to more deeply and deeply and deeply anchor this in and to remember. Because the more I do, the more love I have received in life. And I want that for you as well. So, in short, the way to receive more love is for you to acknowledge and receive the love you already are and know that within your being. And so, hopefully, today we got into the difference between knowing it and not knowing it. And it is an inner journey. And I believe this is our human journey, is to remember this from within. I believe it's why we're here. And the more that we know the love that we innately are, we are able to share it as the unique expression of who we each are. So, as always, know that there is nothing to fix. And I hope this episode really reiterates why that is. All there is to do is to remember. Remember from every definition of it. So I'm sending you so much love. Until next time, please take care.
I am so honored you have joined me today. If you enjoyed the I'm Perfectly Divine podcast, subscribe so you don't miss any of our power-filled episodes. Also, if you know another who is strong, sensitive, and spiritual and wants to dive deeper into emotions and ancient wisdom so they too can create profound peace and fulfillment from within, please share this podcast. Thank you again for joining me, and I look forward to reconnecting with you soon.